Alright, so some days all the stars align and conditions are perfect. You feel like you can catch fish anywhere you go. Then there are days like today. We've got abysmal conditions today. I mean, terrible. A cold front came through last night. Winds are howling out of a direction that I hate, northwest, and they're supposed to build as the day goes on. Not only that, we've got absolutely no tide movement today. The tide is just not supposed to move at all. It's one of those flip-flop days where it just kind of meanders back and forth all day. Also in the forecast is a bluebird sky. It's very early here. I'm already at the boat launch, but I can see all the stars. So it's going to be clear today. And the barometric pressure is sky high. So everything is working against us today. But to be honest, I kind of like these days. It presents a big challenge. So you really feel like each fish is a big accomplishment. I go into days like today with very low expectations. You're kind of just fishing for bites. So we're gonna see what we can put together today. Hopefully it's more than just 1 or 2 bites, but literally, I think we're gonna be fishing for 1 or 2 bites. But you gotta go to know. Can't catch them at home sitting on the couch. So wish me luck, here we go. So I don't know how much you can see, but it's still pretty dark out here. The sun is just coming up on the eastern horizon, and boy, it's beautiful. And I've got to tell you, I was really expecting a tremendous amount of wind. It's not blowing yet at all. Now, I know it is going to build as the day moves on. I can't tell what my water clarity is, but definitely it's still low light. So I'm going to start with this black and blue matrix craw. It's dark colored with some blue flake, and in low vis, you want to fish dark colors. So I'm really hoping for some bites. Water temp, 47 degrees. That's cold. All right, let's see what happens. Something I do have working in my favor. We don't have much of a tide range today, but since that wind blew out of the northwest all night, it's making that tide fall. So I really got to take advantage of it early while it's happening. Man, look at that sunrise. That's why you get up early. You know, I called my YouTube channel Marsh Man Masson, and there's a reason. I just love being in the marsh. Now the water's definitely low. You can tell we've had some northwest wind. That means it's not going to fall too much longer, but it also means those bass and reds should be schooled up in these bayous. Just got to find them. But like I said, today we're just fishing for bites. It is not going to be a fish slaughter. So I'm starting to gain some visibility, and I can see my trolling motor foot pretty well, so that tells me the water's nice in here. Tons of bait up ahead. Very good sign. Oh, there's a fish. Oh, he came off. Boy, my hook never even emerged. Never even came out of this bait. That's disappointing. There's another one. Oh, he spit it. He might still be on there. Yeah, he is. All right, fish number 1. Little marsh bass. I don't know why his friend got off. A little bitty guy. Cold water, baby marsh bass. Welcome aboard, fish number 1. That fish hit it. I felt him hit it. And then I tried to make contact with my bait again and I couldn't. It was running toward me. Oh, there's another one. Oh! They're eating this bait up, but they're just not taking it deep. See if there's another one there. Sometimes they can really just stack up in one spot. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm definitely have to make some kind of a change here. I've missed way too many fish. I got a 3/8 ounce bullet weight on, which is just too heavy for this water that's barely moving. I just don't, it's overkill. So I'm really gonna reduce that down. Also probably go with a smaller bait. All right, so I went with a 1/8 ounce bullet weight and I changed the bait to something a little bit more subtle. I can maybe get that hook through. It's a watermelon green baby brush hog. So I spot locked the motor to hold me right on this spot because I was getting bites almost every cast on this little corner here. So let's see if the fish are still there. There's a fish. Oh, nice bass, nice bass. All right, so we came out today fishing for bites and we've been fishing 5 minutes and we've already got 2 bass. Now look at this. This fish is hooked outside the mouth. That tells you why I'm missing so many. They are just not holding on to the bait. But that's a chunky little marsh bass. So that's 2 fish off this little corner and a couple of misses. There's another one. Oh, he spit it. Oh, there's one. Bass, another bass. I never felt that fish hit it, but I saw him running. Look again, hooked outside of the mouth. Look at that. They're just not feeding. Too cold, water's too cold. See, this is what I like about days like today. I have very low expectations. And here in my first few minutes, I've already got 3 bass in the boat, and conditions are far better than I expected. Now, it usually doesn't go that way. Usually they're worse than you expected. But how many days have you sat at home cursing the weatherman because conditions were way better than forecast, and you know you should have gone? I just can't believe how calm it is out here. There is some wind blowing, but it's not a whole lot. It's under 5 knots, I'll tell you that. I better enjoy while it lasts. Alright, looks like I may have exhausted the bites on this corner. Time for the sunglasses. Getting bright. Boy, you get mornings that are unexpectedly nice like this, you really kind of start to feel pressure. Like you feel like you have to produce fish before the conditions deteriorate, because I know it's coming. Well, it seems like my outboard wants to stay where we are. Trim it up. It's always a great sound to make when you're trying to be quiet. So I have a feeling I'll be changing baits a lot today. You just never know if there are not feeding fish around or if they don't like what you're throwing. So a couple weeks ago I was fishing with my good buddy Chris Macaluso. Water very similar to this clarity. And he threw a Strike King twitch bait, a stick bait, jerk bait, whatever you want to call it, and caught several nice bass on it. Now I don't have a Strike King jerk bait, but I do have an X-Wrap, so I'm going to make a few casts with this, see if I can get some bites on that. It'd be fun to catch them on that. Now it seems to me with this high pressure, this may not be the best bait, but a few casts won't hurt, right? Oh, there's a fish. Look at that, on the X-Wrap. There's a bass. He was right in the middle of that bayou. Came up and hit the X-Wrap. Hit the front hook, got the back hook stuck in his gill. Very, very close to the boat too. All right, some validation. Thanks, C-Mac, that one's for you, buddy. Boy, it's amazing, all the cold weather we've had, there's still grass in these bayous. And that's why there are bass in these bayous. All right, one fish on the X-Wrap. I'm gonna keep it close by, but I'm gonna go back to the baby brush hog. So I'm really starting to lose confidence in this baby brush hog. It's just not delivering bites. And now that the sun's getting up, I can tell the water's really not as pretty as I thought it was. So I may need a darker bait. All right, first cast. First cast and a fish. The black Zoom trick worm. So they obviously did not like my baby brush hog. I don't think they were seeing it. Man, he took it deep too. That's a good sign. All right, buddy. Chunky little bass. First cast. Hopefully we don't have the first cast curse. All right, see if you got any friends. Man, I know a lot of people are complaining about this winter, and it's definitely been a cold one, but you don't get days as pretty as this in the summer. What a gorgeous day. It's a little chilly. My hands are cold, but the air is dry. Winds are mostly calm. It's just awesome being out here. And we've already exceeded our expectations. So everything else is just icing on this cake. I knew you were gonna spit it. Bye-bye, trick worm. Gotta get another one. There's a fish. I think it's a bass. Yes, it's a bass. Get in the boat, buddy. So I'm still hunting for a redfish. Haven't run across any yet, but it'd be nice to catch 1 or 2 of them. But I'm not complaining. These fish are fun to catch as well. There's a fish. Another bass. All right, so it's definitely a good choice going with this black Zoom trick worm. They're hitting it way deeper than they hit any of the other baits, and more enthusiastically, like they're really, really tagging it. You don't expect a fish to hit a bait that hard in water this chilly, but they are. That means they really want this. It looks good to them, looks natural. Still no redfish though, kind of surprising. There's a fish, another bass, nice bass. Get in the boat, buddy. Come on, get in the boat. It's about a maybe almost 1 pounder. It's considered a nice bass here. So that's fish number 8 for the day. I truly can't believe the fishing has been this good. Another one that really thumped it. He really wanted it. All right, so remember that wind that was promised? Well, it's arrived. You probably can't tell in this bayou, but it's starting to blow. It's up to about, I'd say, 10 knots or so right now. There's one good point to this wind. It's that it may force this tide to fall a little more. But when I tell you this tide is dead, I mean it's doornail dead. It is not moving an inch. Definitely limiting our success. Hey, at least now we have some built-in excuses. That's a fish. Yep, that's a fish. Oh, nice bass. Nice in the marsh sense. There's a fish. There he is. Finally got a hook in one. And he's a good one. He's a good one. Get in the boat, buddy. There we go. Fish of the day so far. It's pretty pathetic when that's your fish of the day, but it's a tough day. So a lot of times I like to throw bigger baits in these marshes. It kind of weeds out those really little bass. It gets kind of frustrating to make a lot of casts and keep feeling them tap it, setting the hook and missing them. You know it's little fish, but you just got to set the hook when you get a tap. You have to. Sometimes it's big fish. But with these conditions today, with the high sky, with the high pressure, high barometric pressure, I'm really just fishing for bites. I don't care if they're big or small. Obviously, I want to catch them as big as possible, but I really don't want to weed anything out. So this black zoom trick worm is really serving me well. There's the bat. And he's missing. He missed it. You just tell they're just little fish. But you got to set the hook, because you never know for sure. I tell you what is not serving me well any longer is this lighter bullet weight. The wind blowing so hard, it's very difficult to walk that thing down the ledge, because the wind is blowing my line, just pulling that worm. And these fish just are not chasing today. There's a fish. Little marsh bass. Little marsh bass. So I typically keep fish this size because they're very good to eat. And you're not hurting anything by keeping a few of these. You're just not. There's so many bass in these waters. These marshes are just loaded with them. I don't keep any big ones. Number one, they don't taste good. Number two, I just don't want to kill the big ones. But you're not hurting anything to keep a few of these. But I've already got my 10. You're limited to 10 per angler per day here in Louisiana. No size minimum. You keep little bitty ones. Keep little brim size ones if you want, but only 10. But I'm gonna let this guy go. See ya. Swim off. Make some babies this spring. All right, so this wind has really gotten silly. I don't know if you can tell, but it's really blowing a gale. It's probably between 15 and 20 knots. I'm back here in protected water, so it's not so bad. I know in the big water it's gonna be really rough. But I tell you what, mission accomplished for the day. Now, I didn't get any redfish. Kind of hoping I'd get a red, but plenty of action for bass. Definitely more than I anticipated. And a lot of misses. So I'm head home feeling really good about what I caught today. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to Marsh Man Masson on YouTube. You'll love every video, I promise. And until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh, we'll definitely see you right here on Marsh Man Masson. There's a fish. Ah.